another Green Marble Crochet tutorial. For this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make this delightful hooded cardigan. Yeah, so that's it. That's what we're going to be doing. This is very similar to the hooded sweater that I did last year, but the stitch count at the beginning is going to be different, and you're just not joining, so that's really the only difference. You're not joining the rounds, you're just going back and forth for rows. So yeah, that's what we're doing. I haven't done the hood in this tutorial. There's a separate tutorial if you want to make the hood, because in the beginning of this one I'm doing with or without. So if you do want to add the hood to this, I suggest going and watching the hooded tutorial to make that. That one will be in, I think it's accessories and add-ons, the playlist. So if you go and find that, that's where that will be. Also, yeah, I don't think there's anything else to say really. Oh yeah, in that tutorial, the hood that I've made is with a slightly thicker yarn, and also the hook size is different. So for this one, I'll be using a 5mm, and obviously this yarn, but you'll see all that when we get started. I don't really think there's anything else we need to say. If you haven't subscribed, but you would like to subscribe to join me for some more tutorials, I would love to have you join me. A big thank you to my patrons. I love and appreciate your support. Thank you. I'm very grateful for it. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching my videos. I don't really think there's much else to say. We should just get straight into making this cardigan. Right, now let's begin by having a look at the tiny details. So we're using a 5mm hook for this design. And let's get this label off. And it's the Anna Mondial, and it's 100% acrylic, 100 grams, 340 meters, and it's telling me I should use a 3 to a 3.5mm hook, but I think it's going to work out okay with the 5. So yeah, these are all the details. So it's machine washable, which is excellent. Yeah, so pause the video if you want to have a little more of a look at these details. I'll show you this as well. Yeah, so that's what that is. Alright, let's get into it. So I've already made the hood because I have a hood tutorial, and if you want to go and watch that, the yarn that I've used in that tutorial is a lot chunkier than this yarn, and I have used a bigger hook. So just bearing in mind that the hook and the yarn that I'm using, that one won't work for this design. It'll be way too big. So for this, obviously, this is like a very light, probably a very light worsted weight, probably a little more leaning towards DK. So yeah, and using a 5mm hook. So I've done this, and because for this hood, what I've done is for the depth, I've actually done from the join in the middle where the hood starts. So where are we? You'll know what I mean. So here's the hood, here's where it starts in the middle. And then I've counted along, so there's 2, 4, we're going to be doing 2 double crochets into each row end, and you'll see what I mean by that once we get started. But what it is counting from the middle. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 40, 42, 44. So 44 on one side, 44 on the other side. So it's going to be 88 stitches to start with. So if you don't want to add the hood to this design, what you can do is, I'm going to grab some more yarn, hang on a second. If you only want to make the cardigan part of this design, then all you're going to want to do at this point is you're going to want to make a slip knot. So making a slip knot, and you're going to adjust your knot to the hook, and you're going to chain 88. So 1, 2, 3, 4, so chaining 88. Okay, so now that I've chained my 88, what I'm going to do is, because we're going to be using a chain of 2 for each turn, we're going to chain an extra 2. So 1, 2, that's an extra 2 on top of that 88. But what we're going to do now is we're going to skip the first 2 chains from the hook, so 1, 2, and we're going to double crochet into the next chain along. So the third chain from the hook, it's 1, 2, 3, put a double crochet. So that's yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And we're going to be putting a double crochet into the next 13. Well, actually we're going to be putting in 14 double crochets across. So bearing in mind this is for without the hood, so I'm just going to run you through this quickly and then I'm going to get started on the hooded tutorial. So let's do 14 double crochets across. Okay, so I've done my 14 double crochets across. Now we're moving on to the first increase section at the first shoulder. Now because I've got 88 stitches to work with at the beginning here, or 88 chains, I've got 29 for the front and 29 for the back and 15 for each shoulder. And we're going to be starting increases on the shoulders. So to do that, we've done our 14 double crochet. So we've got at the front, there's going to be 14 on one side, and obviously because there's 29 stitches, there's going to be 15 on the other side. So there'll be 15, you'll see what I mean at the end. So what we're going to do now that we've done our 14 double crochets, into the next stitch along, we're going to put another double crochet. So yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Now after that double crochet we're going to chain 2, so 1 and 2. Then into the same chain we're going to yarn over, insert hook into the same chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And that's the first of our increases. So now we're going to put a double crochet into the next 14 chains. Okay, so now that I'm on that 14th double crochet, I'm going to once again chain 2, 1, 2, and then into that same chain where I put my last double crochet, we're going to put another double crochet. So you can see we're putting the increases straight into the shoulder sections. So now what you're going to do is you're going to put a double crochet into the next 29 chains across. So next 29 chains across. Okay, now I've put my 29 double crochets across. So into the next stitch, which is the next shoulder section, we're going to put a double crochet followed by the chain of 2. So 1, 2, and another double crochet into that chain. Then it's going to be 14 across, and on the 14th chain across we're going to put another chain of 2 and another double crochet into the same chain, just like the last one. Alright, so there's those increases for that shoulder with the 15 double crochets basically, but yeah. Anyway, moving on to the last part. We've got, 15 chains is what I meant to say. So for the last part we should have 15 chains left to put a double crochet into. So 1, 2, 15 double crochets. Alright, so that's the beginning of your cardigan. Now what's going to happen here is I'm just going to switch to start doing the hooded one. Because from here, the increases are going to be the same, exactly the same. You're going to chain up 2, you're going to turn, you're going to work to the increase, and yeah. So you'll see from here what's going to happen next. So I'm going to get started on the hooded part. I'll put a timestamp in the description so that you can skip ahead to what you're going to need to skip ahead to. Alright, see you soon. Alright, now here I am with my pre-made hood, and what we're going to do now is we're going to be working straight from the last stitch that we've done of the hood. So there's no cutting and no tying off just yet. We're just going to be working straight from the hood. And to do that, we're going to chain 2, so 1, 2, and you're just going to turn to the side where we're going to be working into the row ends. And we're going to be putting 2 double crochets into each row end, and we're also going to be working our increases straight into the row ends here. So we're going to be working in increases right away. And what we're working with 29 spaces for the front, 29 spaces for the back, and 15 for each shoulder. So for this first part at the front, we're going to do 14 double crochets into the next, I guess, 7 spaces along. So we're going to, I'll show you how we do this. So I like to sort of work around the little sort of divider in the double crochet row end. So what we do is we yarn over and we focus the camera properly, and then put in a double crochet into that first little space on the row end. 1 double crochet, then yarn over, insert your hook into the next space of that row end, yarn over, pull up loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Then we're going to be working 14 double crochets across, including these 2 here. Alright, now that I've done my 14 double crochets across, what I'm going to do next is into the next row end, or the first part of the next row end, so that part just there, I'm going to put 1 double crochet, so double crochet into the next part, followed by a chain of 2, 1, 2, and another double crochet into that same part of the row end. So that's the first increase. Now, from here you're going to be putting in 14 double crochets across, so into the next part of that row end, you're going to put another, so that's 1. Then moving on to the next row end, it will be 2. Next row end is, next part of that row end is 3. So yes, from that increase section, working 14 double crochets across. Okay, here I am with my 14 double crochets after that first increase. Now on this 14th double crochet just here, we're going to once again chain 2, so 1, 2, and another double crochet into that same part of that row end. So that's the first of our increases for that shoulder. So just like that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put 29 double crochets along. So starting with the next space in that row end, so that will be 1, then moving on to the next space of the next row end. Let's just, okay, 1 and 2. Next space just there will be 3, and then next space along, that one just there will be 4. Next space along is 5. So working 29 double crochets across. Alright, now that I've put my 29 double crochets across from that last increase section, we're going to work another increase section into the next space. So to do that, we move along to the next space just there. So it's a double crochet followed by a chain 2. And another double crochet into that same chain space, that same row end, or the same space of that row end. Then, moving on to the next row end, we put our first of the next 14 double crochets across. So 14 double crochets across. Okay, so I've put in my 14 double crochets since the last increase section just there. Now into that same space that we've done our last double crochet, we're going to chain 2 and put another double crochet into that space. Just like that. Now there should be 15 more double crochets, I think, till the end. Yes, there should. So into the next space is 1. And next space is 2. So there should be 15 of these left to go.